everyone. We're doing crochet today. It's part of the crochet along. So we're doing week 2. I've been crocheting away and I'm quite enjoying it. There's enough different things there for you to carry on playing with. Although I do just want to sit down and crochet. I don't want to do anything at the moment. Hi Claire, hi Linda, how are you doing? So before we start along with the crochet along, we've got a daily deal. It's a yarny one. Now Sirdar have brought out this new yarn called Stories, and there's a lot of crochet patterns. So this is a pattern that takes up, it looks like it's an easy make. There's charts if you want to go with a chart, or there's a written pattern. It tells you how many balls and what the yarn colour is, although you could do it any colour you want. And then it's a very good description. It looks like you're doing mostly V stitches and fans. So yeah, it's like one line of V stitches and one line of fans, and then you just repeat. So once you've got into the rhythm of it, it looks as if it would be a nice easy make. And how would you feel about making a garment? Now this isn't the only pattern. I should have brought the other patterns over. There are other patterns, but we're doing a kit for this one. Okay, so we're putting together the kit, and look at the colours in this. Aren't they just amazing? Hi everyone, how are you doing? Look at the vibrancy of these. You can imagine, it's my favourite colour. So we have a whole thingy of them, a whole barrage. Is it a barrage? You could make a barrage out of them because there's a lot. So you've got 14 balls of wool. All right, they are 50-gram balls. Okay, I don't know what they'll retail at. I'm just trying to think now. There's 14 balls. Maths. Yeah. But for all 14 balls and the pattern, it would normally come out at $44.64, but we're going to do it for $39.99. Okay, so just think how you would feel about this. It's got a hood on it as well, so it'd be beautiful for the summer, thrown over a pair of shorts or a mini skirt like the girl on the front's got. Shorts maybe. I'm not a mini skirt person. So that one's $39.99. It's on Daily Deals and it's in the yarn as well if you're looking for it. I'll show you the pattern again afterwards. So yeah, 14 balls, and I think that's how many colours? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 colours. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It must be 16 balls, not 14. 16. 16 balls, even better. How's that for a thing? Right, so Lily Pond, how did you get on with your week 1? I managed to get all 4 of mine done. They're still too big, but they're all the same size. So I'm working on that. We should be okay. Now I know that in the pattern it says to be doing the sides, but we're all going to do that at the end because we might need to add bits depending on your tension. Yes, you should do a tension square. Everybody should do a tension square. I always think, it's a blanket, do I need to? But I think if I'd have done a tension square and then changed my hook to meet the tension square, I would have been going down far too small to actually be able to work with it. So we have that. This is what we're making today, and it wasn't until I put it out ready to come yesterday I realised that I've done that in the turquoise instead of the Cornish blue, so that's going to have to come off. Okay, so we're going to work our way through this. So let me get my pattern. You could probably crochet along as we're going. I will call it out the colours that you would be using. Okay, so I've got, this is my original bucket storage, so, which I do love. So I don't need that one, I need that one. I've got all sorts of bits in here, and we want that one, and we want these, and we want that one. Oh, and I want that one, but I don't want that one. Okay, I started next times as well, that it's another flower, and when I went to wrap it up to go to bed, I've done it with a 4.5, so I'm going to have to start that again as well. So pattern reading's not my strong point. So this is a good thing for me as well. So yours too long, are they, Carol? I think we'll be able to work it round as we go. Sorry, Grace. Yes, happy St. David's Day to everybody. In my head, that was how I was going to start. Happy St. David's Day and Happy Pancake Day. I know which one means the most to me. When I was in boarding school in the convent, we'd have had a bar of chocolate today because it was a Saint's Day. And that's how I mark Saints' Days, I'm afraid. Right, okay. So we're going to start with the middle. So I'm going to find my 4. I have put on there, maybe use a 3.5. See, my 4.5, when it says night time, isn't that much difference when I'm just looking for a blue in the semi-darkness. Right, okay, where are we? Let's go to the overhead. Let's make some space here. So we're going over to this one. I think as well, I mean, it does say in the pattern for you to maybe do your side pieces, do them like you do 3 rows and then do 3 rows, 3 rows, 3 rows, and then work your way up, so that they all turn out the same size. And if you have to change one of them and go down a hook size. So we're not doing a magic circle with this. We do a chain and then work into the chain, which is easier, but it leaves you with a hole. So if you don't like the hole, you might want to do a magic circle, which we will cover at a later date. So to make my my loop, I just cross it over, bring it through, and make it's a movable loop. Okay, so I can tighten it or loosen it as I wish. And you're going to chain 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you could probably see why I say maybe go down a smaller one. I tend to make it looser when I'm showing you than normal. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm going to slip that into there. This is where you all have a look and say, oh, I'm not bad, I can get that in first go. Okay, so push that in there, and we're just going to do a slip knot. Alright. talk amongst yourselves. Right, we're going to do a slip knot, so pull through and then through the other one, which then causes your circle. Okay, so you're now going to do one chain, which doesn't count as a stitch, and then you're going to put your hook into the center of your chain. Can you see you've got the chain all the way around? You're going in that center piece, and you're going to do 8. So that's 1. I'm going to stick a doodah in there. Okay, I'm going to stick a doodah in there like that, so that I can find my thing. Right, so we've done 1. It seems awfully big for this little thing, doesn't it? So that's 1, 2. Now I'm incorporating this tail in there as well, which will anchor it a bit more. I tend to work around my tails. What was that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, just checking the pattern, see what it said. Okay, and then we're going to slip into this one again. Alright, so where I marked, I'm going to slip into there. Come on, sir. There you go, slip into there, pull it through and pull it through. Alright, and then we're going to chop it off. Where's my skizzy? Should lay them all out like a surgeon, shouldn't I? Okay, so I'm going to chop that off like that, and then you're just going to pull it through, which will then tighten it. Alright, now you haven't got a lot to be anchoring these to, so they do suggest that you leave it for a few rounds before you start putting in your ends. Alright, so now we're going to go to the cream. Alright, now your petals here, right, just checking your speech bubbles. When you do the petals, you can see you've got a longer one, shorter one, longer one, shorter one, longer one. Okay, so you're working around like that, making that the longer and shorter. So you start with, you're going to start with the long chain. Well, we will if we find the end. Where's my end? There it is. Okay, so you're going to go in any start with any one, any stitch, okay, and you're going to loop it round your hook, your cream round your hook, and pull it through. Then with the bit that's attached to the ball, okay, the bit that's attached to the ball, you're going to do a chain there. Alright, so that counts as your first chain. Now because we're going to do a double treble, you're going to chain 4. Your first chain is 4, so you've done 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, and then you're going to do a double treble in that same hole, so it's round twice through the same stitch that you've just come through, pull it up, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Then you're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then you're going to go back in the same hole that you've been working in and put in a slip stitch. So that's pull your yarn through and go straight through. Don't make a stitch, just go straight through. Okay, then you're going to go into the stitch next door and put in a slip stitch, which anchors, it moves you along without increasing height or anything. And then we're going to chain 3 because we're doing a treble. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do a treble, which is yarn over your hook once, through the hole, pick up your yarn and pull through 2, pull through 2, chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then you go back into the hole that you were in and slip stitch that. I think I've wrapped it, hang on. Go back into the hole without picking up any extra yarn and anchor it. And you go into the next hole, which is there, and you're going to slip stitch that one. Okay, so now we're back to doing a large petal. So it's chain 4, 2, 3, 4. Wrap your yarn twice around your hook, back through the same hole, pull your yarn through, and then you're going through yarn through 2, yarn through 2, yarn through 2. So you do that 3, you go through 2 loops 3 times. That's right. Then 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're going to put a slip stitch in that one there. Okay. No, I picked up one there, didn't I? Sorry, I lost concentration there. I think I went to do a stitch. So you're going to go through and pull it through. And then we're doing a short stitch, so it's into the next one. Anchor it with a slip stitch. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Do a treble. 1, 2. And then 3, chain, 2, 3, slip stitch. There we go. Well, we're still selling kits, so I'm assuming you're all enjoying it. They're lovely colours. I do like this dandelion, this muted yellow. It's not quite a mustard. I'm not a big mustard fan. So what am I doing now? 4, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're around twice. We're busy over in the shop getting kits ready for Sarah's Hochanda because she's away for the rest of the week. And then she's off to Duxford for the rest of the week. 3, 4, and then she's so I can't do 2 things at once. The little man is not a happy little man. So I'm going to slip stitch that and hold that there. So she's Duxford, she's working from home next week. So we're going to go in there and anchor that. So that's a slip stitch there. And then we're doing a 3. So 1, 2, 3, treble, 1, 2, 3, and then she's got Hochanda the week after that. So she's got a busy old month this month. anchor that there. Right, we're going in here. So we've done a short one, so this one is anchor that one in there. Lose all your stitches. Pull that one through there. So this is a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Double wrap through. Is this all making sense to you? And 1, 2, 3, 4. If anybody's doing this with the scraps, I'd love to see how your colourways are going. And oh, I think I've ended up with a big one. Oh yeah, there'll be a small one. That'd be right, wouldn't it? Big, 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 big. Yeah, need a small one. So I'm going to anchor that in that stitch there and through. And last one. Let's put all these tight. There should be one left. Should be somewhere in there for me to anchor this. Lost a stitch. There it is. There we go. So I don't want that one, I want this one. So you all doing it with these colours, or have you all tried something else? 1, 2, 3, treble. Oh, the little pins, yeah, they were a Christmas present from my hubby. What am I doing? A treble, aren't I? There we go, like that. And then 1, 2, 3. Then we anchor that one in there, like that. Okay, and then we're going to anchor it into the first stitch, and then we've done our petals. It really is, you know, this is a nice, you look at some blankets and you think, oh my god, how am I going to go do that? But really it's quite a simple thing once you know how. There we go, and we just pull that one through and anchor that off. So I now have, see, I've got all my long ones and my short ones. In fact, that's even better than that one, look. See, the more you do, the easier it gets. Okay, we're going to change this. Now, we've only got one yellow, so you knew that that was the yellow. So, if you're using the Life, this would be daffodil. If you're using the DK, it's dandelion. And if you're doing the other colourway, the muted one, the subtle one, you'd be doing that in lime, okay, which is a greenier yellow, really. This one here, which we're using, it would be fern on the pattern. I'm using pistachio, and the other pattern way would be parchment. Okay, right, so we're going to use the pistachio, and we're going to do this this linking here. It's chains, and it's really, again, really simple. So we're going into any central stitch of any petal. So you've done a chain, then you did a stitch, and then you did a chain. Okay, can you see that? So we're going into this middle one here, like that. We're still using a 4 hook, or I'm still using a 4 hook. Okay, we don't want that one, we want this one. Do you know, it's quite nice to do crochet without having to fight the dogs for the balls of wool. Okay, so we're going to anchor this one here now. They are super cute, Meg. It's going to be a lovely blanket. But Meg does a lot of amigurumi and when she says something's cute, you should see her work. It's lush. Right, so we're now going to chain 7. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and now we're going to put a... Oh, I should have DC'd into that one. Hang on. Let's go back to this. So I've anchored it in there with... I missed a stitch. Okay, so I've chained it, but you're going to put in a double. So it's no yarn over, through the hole, pull the yarn through, and then pull through 2. Okay, so that's your stitch. It just gives it a little bit more of a bit of a body than just slip stitching. So we're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're going to go into the middle of the next petal. Come on, petal. In there. Let's put the wool there. Let's go in there. And we're going to put another double. So it's hook through, pick up the yarn, pull through, and then just pull through the 2 on your hook. Okay, so another 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you're just going to keep going round all the way round. Okay, there is nothing different to it. You're just going to keep going round. Okay, and then you would do another 7 and keep going all the way round till you get to here, and then you're going to slip stitch into that last one there. Okay, so don't know, I'm going to need the fern again, aren't I? Let's just chop that off there like that. And there's one I've made earlier. Okay, so in fact I've got 2. I think that one was done with smaller, so we're going to put that one back over here. Okay, so we've gone all the way round and put our chain in. So now we're going to change to khaki. It says on the pattern olive, but it's khaki or pale rose, which I didn't bring with me because I don't use it in this one. The pale rose, no, we haven't used it, have we? Oh, that's pale rose there. So that's the one that you'll use on your, if you're using the 3rd colourway. Right, stop wittering. Are you all with me? You're going to give up because your panels are too long? Oh, no, we'll put it right, Carol. We will sort it in some way. Don't give up. If you've got to add extra lines to this, if you have to do another row round to make it fit, then we'll do that, because I believe that we're not going to have to do very much to make it bigger, because your tension's going to be the same all the way through. So we'll give it, don't do it yet, okay? We'll make a completely different blanket if we have to. We'll sort it, don't you worry about it. Right, okay, so you're going to join your olive into any DC made at the top of a shorter petal. Okay, so there's my long petals. So we're going to go into this stitch here. Okay, now remember, when you've done a stitch, the stitch that you're working on, you know, this posty bit here is this stitch slightly to the right, and that's the stitch that belongs to your post. So we're going to put this in. I'm still using a 4. Okay, I've missed a bit. There we go, into there. And we're going to use my olive, which is khaki. And we're going to join in here with a chain. Okay, like that. So what does it say next? Could do with somebody here reading it for me. At the top of the shoulder, work one chain. Chain 2, so that makes it a 3 chain, which counts as your first treble. Okay, and then you're going to treble into the same stitch. So you're going to go around your hook, through the same stitch, pull through your yarn, and pull through 2, pull through 2, which gives you a treble. Okay, then you're going to chain 3. So you've got 2 in that one there. You're going to chain 3, so 1, 2, 3, and then into your next petal, which is a big petal, you're going to do 2 double trebles. So you've got to loop round twice, and you're going to go in there. Now beware, because I missed it the first time round and only put a treble in because I didn't read the pattern, surprisingly enough. So you need to make sure that you're picking up where the double trebles go in. Okay, so we've done 1. I'm going to do 2. Okay, so you're doing 2, and then you're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then you're going to put another 2 double trebles into the same stitch. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like that. Okay, so far all these bits of thing, you've got 2 here, and then you've put 2 sets of 2 double trebles in your next stitch. Alright, this is going to be your corner. You're making your corners here now, and then you're going to chain 3 and then 3 trebles in the next one. 1, 2, 3, and then in the top of this one here you're going to put in 3 trebles. So through 2, through 2, round, wrap your yarn once in the same hole, through 2, through 2, yarn around once, same hole, through 2, through 2. Okay, so now you have 3 in this one. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to put our trebles into here. Okay, double trebles, isn't it? 1, 2. So we're going to put our double trebles in here. I should have done up to this point. 1, 2. So you put 2 double trebles and then 2 chain. No, yeah, double treble, 1, 2, 3. Chain 2, and then you're going to go in there and make 2 more double trebles in there. Okay, so you can see now from that you're making your corners. Okay, so you would keep going all the way round. And really I need to show you this bit, so we're going to keep going. Talk to me while I'm doing this. So it's chain 3, 1, 2, 2, 3. Well, we're persevering with our puppy. I know there's others of you out there that have got puppies. How are you doing? I'm finding it better. I'm being really strong and making her get off the bed and sleep on her own bed downstairs instead of trying to make her comfy on mine, because I was ending up going out and sleeping in another bed. And because between the 3 of them, there wasn't a lot of room for me. So, 1, no, I haven't got enough. This is a double treble, isn't it? Yeah. So, round twice in here. 1, 2, 3. Where are you all going on your summer holidays? Are you going to go abroad this year? Or are you still going to keep staying home? 1, 2, going round like this. I think they're getting ready to take the baby out. They've all got their coats on. Okay, so that's another corner done. There. Okay, so just 2 more to go. So 1, 2, 3, and in there. Elsie asked if she could have pepperoni on her pancakes. Well, I think I would indulge her, because she's my granddaughter, so of course I would. I can remember one year, Meg, I don't know whether you remember, we did pancakes, and Dad was working away, so we did pancakes, and we decided we were going to do savoury pancakes and then we would do sweet pancakes. And by the time we'd finished it all, because we built our own pancakes completely, we were completely pancaked out and we'd had enough. So have I got 2? No, 1, 2, and we're doing another doubles here. We had sweets and all sorts in our pancakes. Mind you, do you remember crispy pancakes? Finder's crispy pancakes. You could always get away with doing those as pancake day. I used to really like those. My mum used to do those. Right, 2 chain, last one now. I keep forgetting it's a double. It's 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm trying to talk at the same time. No, we didn't do the Liberty draw today. Sarah Sarah will be here. There's too many Sarahs. Sarah will be here tomorrow doing block of the week. So we thought we'd keep it with the fabrics. Okay. So last chain, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to slip stitch. No, we're not. We're going to do a treble in there to make that one 3 as well. Okay, so you do 1 treble there and then slip stitch into the top of that one there, like that. Okay, hang on. There we are. Now we're going to cut that off there, like that. Do you know, this takes a lot longer to explain it as you're going than it does for you to do it. So just you'll whiz through these. Now you've got your corners here, okay? So the next one, we go back to the pistachio, and what we're going to do is we're going to work around these. We're going to be pulling that in so that becomes part of the pattern. Can you see on there where I didn't bring the duck egg with me, where we're going to pull this in. Then after this it's just doing trebles, doubles and trebles, okay? And then this last round here, it'll tell you where to do a chain and skip. You do 7 stitches, skip, and then put in 3 trebles into one hole. I'm going too far ahead now, sorry. Right, we go back to pistachio, parchment, lime, fern, and you're going to join your yarns in any 2 chain space made on the previous round, which is going to be this one in what you can see is your corner. So you're just going to join the yarn in there, and you're just doing it into the chain space, okay? You're not having to find which stitch to put it in. You're just going to do it in the chain space. All right, and then you're going to put 3 double crochets, single if you're American, into that same hole. All right, let me just sort my ball so I know what I'm working with. So we're going to go in 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you've got a little fan there. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put that in there, like that. Okay, well we'll go through this now, Linda, and see whether we can explain where you ended up with loose bits. Okay, so where am I? You're going to do 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. Okay, so we're going in there, double crochet. I'm going to go in there. I'm lovely and warm, toasty warm, and in there. Okay, remember what I said about the stitch to the right. Okay, so you've done 2 double crochets into there, and then you're going to do a double crochet into the chain space. So this big space here, you're going to do another double crochet into there. Okay, and then you're going to do a double crochet into the space made on round 3. So 1, 2, this chain is 3, so you're going to come down into there and do another double crochet. Okay, just linking it, pulling it up. All right, and then you're going to do another double crochet into the space on, just like you did on the other side. Okay, so you're going to go back into the chain space made on round 4. So you go, put your hook into the chain space, pull through your yarn and pull through 2. Okay, so you've linked this here, which gives it that pulled up point. And then you're going to put a double crochet into each of these 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, like that, and then you're going to put a double crochet in there, like that, and then you're going to put your double crochet into, to pick up your chain, and put that in there. like that. Give it a bit of a wiggle, and then put your hook back into that chain space and put in a double crochet. Okay, like that. And then you're going to put 2 into the stitches in your double trebles, 1, 2, and then you're going to put 1 double into, no you're not, you're going to put 3 doubles. Is it 3? 3. 1, 2, 3. All into that chain space on your corner. Now by adding 3 into there, you're increasing the amount of stitches that you've got on your line, which means it's always increasing. Otherwise it would just stay too small. It would stay small. Okay, so then you're going to put again your double crochet into these 2 stitches here. The 1 stitch is hidden, or could be hidden, so you have to find it. 1 in there, like that. So you've done those 2, and then we go back to into your chain space between your trebles and your double trebles, and pull up your yarn and put your stitch in. Then you're going to go into this chain space underneath your chain 7 and pull it up like that. Okay, and then you're going to put another one into the chain space. Okay, does that make more sense? Alright, so you're going to go all the way round, just working like that, which is just going to pick up your chain space, which is going to work to like this. Okay, so you're going to pull it all up like that. So then you're going to work around. Beware that you're going to increase in the corners. I think that one's just a double with the duck egg. They're double crochets all the way round. Okay, make sure you put in 3 in your corners. Then it's trebles with the olive. No, it's not trebles, it's half trebles. So a half treble. Let me show you a half treble while we're at it. Okay, so a half treble is, you're going to treat it like a treble. You're going to go yarn over, okay, yarn over, through your stitch, pull up your yarn, and then instead of pulling through 2, you're going to pull through all 3 like that. So yarn over, enter your stitch, grab your yarn and pull through 3. Alright, that is a half treble, which is what you're doing on this khaki olive meadow one. Alright, going along, that's a half treble. Then we're going up to a treble. Now this is round 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Round 8 you're doing trebles. Okay, you're going to put trebles in all the way round, and then you're going to chain 1, skip 2 and put 3 trebles into your middle stitch here. Okay, which will fan, which will give you the same amount of stitches that you're skipping. It gives you the same amount of stitches at the top. Okay, again you'll increase on the corners by 3, and then when you do your final row, there's 2 rows of stitches in this. Okay, so this one is, you're going round, we'll do this one, we'll do one side anyway. Okay, so you're going to join in into a marked stitch, which would be your middle. You'll have marks in there. Okay, it's your middle corner stitch. So out of the 3 that you put in the corner, you're going to pick out your middle one. You're going to chain to pull it in, and you're going to put 3 double crochets into this. 1, 2, 3. You're going to put 3 in there. Okay, and then you're going to put a double crochet in the next 9 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I might have missed one down there. I haven't. Oh, no. 7, 8. There should be 9. And then you're going to do a treble into the next skipped. So you're going into here. Okay, so you're going to do a treble into this stitch down here, like that, so that it gives you like a spike. Okay, and you're going to put into this 3 here, like that. Oh, like that. And then again you're going to put in another treble into the stitch. Now where you've skipped 2 stitches, you're putting it in the one furthest away from your fan in the middle. Okay, in there, pull it up like that. Okay, so there you go. So you're going to do that all the way round. Don't forget your 3 in the corners. I don't know about you, but I'm really warming up. Right, okay. The last thing that I wanted to talk about was the doing the pink in the middle. So you want one of your a knitting needle, a knitter's needle, not a knitting needle, like that. And you start with the plum. Okay. Like this. And I'm going to cut a bit off. Like that. Okay. So you're going to come up on one of your stitches. Alright, one of the gaps. You can see the gaps between the yellow and the cream. You're going to come up and you're going to go back a stitch. Alright, and then when you're going to pull it up, your needle back up, you're going to come up a stitch in front of where you've brought your fabric. It's just basically a back stitch. So you're going to do that. You don't want to pull it too tight, you want to keep it so that you can see it. Okay, and you do this with your plum, grape or cranberry. I'm using plum. Okay, so you just lining it like this all the way round. Again, don't pull it too tight, just want it to lie on the top. Okay, like this, all the way round until you get to the end. There we go. You're going through to the back now. And with this, I was watching on YouTube, they do a thing where they go, I don't know how to explain it. So you're going to go into your one of your previous stitches, pull it up until it's a loop. Go through the loop and then go, I can't remember, am I doing it right now? You're going to pull, you're going to put a knot in there. This might be something that I need to practice. Yeah, I've knotted it in the wrong place now. I think you have to pull that one stitch. So I need to shorten that loop. Where's my loops? So you're going to shorten that one and then pull that, which creates a knot like that. So that you can do that. I should have had a longer tail so that I could do it with the same. So you've got a knot, but it's like a hidden knot. Can you see? It's not a knot, but it is a knot. So, like that. Okay, and then you would have a longer tail and you would do the same with that one. Could knot them together. So that gives you that. And your final thing is your lily raspberry. You're both all using raspberry. Now you're going to go in through one of these holes here, okay, and you're going to go through the hole left between your pistachio cream and cream, between your petals, and come up like we did with the last one. So you're going to go down there. You're going to go that way. I can't remember now. No, you wouldn't. Hang on. You're going to come up through there. Let's come up through there. Like that. You want it to be, need it to go over. So you're going to go down and back up on. So you're going to come up on one petal, come up between that petal there. I think this is how I did it. And then you're going to go down on the other side of the petal and come up between the other side. So it does that. I think that's how I did it. Then you're going to go back behind the petal that you went behind before and come back up where you were, you know, where you started that stitch. Does that make sense? So that when you do that, you get a a point, a diamond. And I think you just need to work your way around like that, and then back down. I've got a feeling I'm going too far round, because you're only going to get 4. You have to go around twice this way. I'm sure there was... No, I've done that wrong, haven't I? So anyway, you're doing that. I will do a little video. I will do a little video later, because it's a week since I did that and I can't remember how to do it. So I will do a video of that last bit, okay? I'll get Dave to video me later. I am boiling. This house is piping hot. Okay, look at me. Just getting hotter and hotter. Start stripping off in a minute. I will do a little video. We've done an hour. You don't need to listen to me prattling on any longer. I hope that's made sense. Any problems, just ask, and I can always do it again and do a little video with it. They're very long. When I was doing it, I thought, do you know what? I'll do part 2 and 3. I'll show you part 2 and 3. But we'd be here forever. So I hope that's made sense to some of you, and picked up some of the things that, you know, don't worry about it all fitting. We will make it all go together. It's making it your own, taking a pattern and making it your own, which is what all of us do anyway. So I hope that's made sense. I'm going now before I pass out from the heat. Thank you very much, Claire. It's you know, me and crochet, it's explaining and doing it fast enough. Sarah crochets is so much faster. They're all going to look beautiful whatever we do. All right, I will talk to you soon. I'll see you Thursday. We're doing a polyhedron box. Look at me. So I'll see you then, okay? Sarah's here tomorrow with block of the week. All right, so and Liberty. She's going to pull the Liberty thing. Bye.